What's up, YouTube? Mano here. Okay, so today I want to share this parsing chord substitution that you can use to get you to the 6. So instead of just going to normal 6, you do this little substitution, okay? And it kind of messes with your ear a little bit. Okay, so we're going to do it in the key of C. Okay, so in the key of C, the 6 is your A minor. Okay, so we're going to do parsing chord that gets you to the 6. So in the key of C, the 6 is usually A minor. Okay, so in the song Amazing Grace, we go on the 1, still on the 1, okay, but it's a 1 over 3, to the 4, to the 1, and then after that we go to the 6. Okay, so now we're just looking for a different idea. How can we spice up that 6, or what parsing chords can we use to get us to that 6? So first thing that you can do to get you to the 6, the most obvious chord that you can use that most of us use is the diminished chord. Okay, so you can use this diminished chord to get you to the A minor. And if you want to take this concept a bit further, you can just play like a drop 2. Okay, so you can take away the second highest note, play it in your left hand, and then you can take this exact same chord, but then just invert it down. Okay, so we go to the 6. Okay, so we go. That's the first thing you can do. Let's say we want to go further than that. Okay, we're trying to get to that next level here. Okay, everybody does that, but we want to do something a little bit better than that. Okay, so what you can do is this diminished chord, you can approach this diminished chord with another diminished chord. Okay, so that diminished chord is basically a whole step down from this one. So you take the whole chord as it is with all these notes and just take it down a whole step. Okay, and then you do the same thing you did with the previous one where you play a drop 2. So now it goes from this diminished chord to that diminished chord to the 6 minor. And what you can do once again with this one is you can do that inversion. So you can play this diminished chord, play the drop 2, invert the diminished chord, and then you go to that second diminished chord, which is this, and this time you invert the chord down. So we're only using 2 diminished chords. We're using this one, the one over C, and we're using the diminished chord over the D to get you to the 6. Okay, but we're just using different inversions of these 2 diminished chords. So the first one is C, then we invert it, then we come to D, but instead of inverting up, we invert down. And then for these 2 chords, we're just using drop 2s. So we go to that 6 minor, or to that A minor. Okay, so that's the first thing you can do, but like I said, we want to take it to the next level. And what I want to do, I want to show you a quick concept. Okay, this is just the idea of substitutions. Okay, so substitutions is your ear is expecting you to go to something, but then you go to something else. So for example, in Amazing Grace, so in the song Amazing Grace, it starts on the 1, then it goes to the 3, then goes to the 4, back to the 1. So substitutions has a lot to do with your expectations. Okay, so we're expecting to hear that 4 chord. We're expecting, after this, we're expecting to hear the 4 chord. If you switch up that 4 chord, it's going to sound different. Okay, it's going to mess with your ear, but it's going to surprise your ear, but which can sometimes be a very nice thing. So for example, in that case, if we substitute to that 4 for a 2, for example, it will sound different. So instead of going, instead of doing that, if you go, okay, it sounds a little bit different. Okay, so that's the idea. That's what we're doing here. The diminished chord, this diminished chord, it took us to the A minor. But this particular diminished chord also sounds nice if you go to the B. So if we go, you see it works. So the diminished chord to the B has a sound that works. Okay, so what we're going to do is your ear is going to expect you to go to A minor. Instead, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to B. Okay. And the reason why it works is because the diminished chord works as a passing chord to the B as well. Okay. So how that sounds is, so instead of going diminished chord to the A minor, what we're gonna do is we can go diminished chord to the B. Okay. And what we're gonna do after we get to the B, we're gonna have to find a way to go back to the key of C. So how are we gonna do that? How are we gonna go back to C? Okay, so what we're gonna do in this example is, there's a lot of ways, but in this particular example, we're gonna go to another passing chord that takes you to the A, which is E. You know, like if you play in the key of C, you see that E major takes you to E minor. Okay, so we're gonna go from the B to the E. We're gonna find a way to go from the B to the E. Okay, so now what you can do is you can ask yourself, okay, B and E, in what key do you use both of these chords? And the key that you use is the key of E. So in the key of E, 5 in the key of E is B flat. Now all we need to do is play a progression that takes us from the 5 to the 1. Okay, that's like a 6, 7, 1. Okay, but what we did in our example was 5, 4 to the 3. And that 3 is basically a 1. It's basically an E chord, but just inverted. So we basically did a 5, which is a B. And then we played this melody, F sharp. And when we play the F sharp, we went to the 4. Okay, which is still a B over A to the E chord. And then once we play this E chord, then we're on the E chord that we were trying to get to. Remember, we are trying to get to the E so that we can get to that A minor. So the whole progression is, we first did the 2 diminished chords. And here, usually you could have just went straight to the A. And that would have worked, okay? But what we did was, instead of going to the A, we substituted the A4, like a little quick diversion, okay? So we went to the B, and then we tried to find our way back to the E. So we went. And once I was on the E, all I did was play this dominant and then resolve to the 6. So in the song it sounded something like this. Okay, then I went diminished. Let me just play that through again in context, just so that you can hear again. Okay, and then on and on. So that's how it goes. I hope that made sense. Let me know. Let me know if this made sense. I know it's might be a different way of looking at things, but this is just my view. This is just how I interpreted that progression, and this is how my thinking was to incorporate that move into my playing. Yeah, that's it. So guys, if you enjoyed this, if you like this sort of thing, click the link below. I have a video where I shot in on my favorite chords and licks. So if you enjoy this, I think you'll enjoy that one as well. So click the like button, leave a comment, and I'll see you again real soon. Thank you. God bless. Bye bye.